Just like people, every country and every city has a soul, its own values and culture, its heritage and individuality, and just like people, it's judged for it. Don't you wish someone could see you for what and who you really are? Our cities do deserve that, but how is that going to happen when we're so obsessed with labeling people and places on the basis of our ignorant perceptions? You must have heard Islamabad is full of burgers, Lahoris spend their days eating food and having parties, and Karachi is just too dangerous to live in. And that is just to name some of the major cities in Pakistan. Before we dive into it, I really challenge you to go on YouTube or Google and search for the culture of Pakistan. You don't really find a lot, do you? And then it becomes really sad when you visit channels like Tracks and see how there are hundreds of videos on heritage of almost every region, but again, nothing on Pakistan. You know why that is? Because us Pakistanis, we love scrolling through the internet, looking at vlogs from foreigners who visit our country, and getting free food and being able to walk freely on roads is the biggest surprise to them, and perhaps the biggest achievement. Like we have nothing more to offer. But at least they are doing that much for our country. But the question is, who is responsible to help people see this country for what it really is? Maybe those who live here and breathe the culture and values of this country, or maybe some of us who've just moved here or are passing through and see this region as a land of unexplored beauty, and those who are working day and night to promote the heritage of this country. Let's get to know this country from the rich perspective of arts, culture and heritage. We're going to start from the city that is most misunderstood when it comes to these three words. A city that provides the perfect balance of everything. Famous through a few viral images, articles and clips, but is way more than that. Islamabad is mostly restricted to the sectored areas, but it's not like that. It's actually just the 25% of the whole of Islamabad. There is another 25% that is constituted by parks and greenery, and then another 50% that is all rural areas. The world has such limited understanding of this newly formed capital that history and diversity are never associated with Islamabad. Let's set that right with the beautiful Saidpur village near F6, surrounded by mango trees, and is the center of traditional pottery ware in this region. Before partition, it was predominantly Hindu, and the springs in this area were considered holy. This place is the perfect example of the history and diversity of cultures in Islamabad. In this small area exists a mandir, a gurdwara and a masjid, enabling inclusive religious freedom practiced by the people living nearby.
मेरा नाम नसरुल्ला कियानी है। मैं इस जगह का इंचार्ज हूँ, लुक आफ्टर मेरे ज़िम्मे है। ये जगह 500 साल पहले के ये गांव आबाद है और इसका पुराना नाम सैदपुर का फतेहपुर बावली है। इसको आबाद करने वाले मेरे जद्दे अमजद सुल्तान सैद साहब आज से 500 साल पहले यहाँ पे आए थे, इस गांव को आबाद किया। हिंदू यहाँ पे था, उसका नाम था बावली। तो मेरे जद्दे अमजद सुल्तान सैद साहब, मैं बेसिकली गखड़ कियानी कबीले से मेरा तल्लुक है और वो मेरे जद्दे अमजद हैं सुल्तान सैद साहब। तो इन्होंने ये इलाका जंग के ज़रिए फ़तह किया और फिर उसके बाद इसके ऊपर अपना नाम के ऊपर रखा सैदपुर। तो इसकी तारीख 500 साल पुरानी है। और ये जो बिल्डिंग है नीचे आप देख रही हैं, मंदिर है, इसका नाम है जान की देवी। ये सामने गुरुद्वारा है, सिख टेम्पल है, और ये धर्मशाला है पीछे, और चंद गज के फासले पे मस्जिद है मुसलमानों की। और ये तीनों जगह कंपाउंड सिस्टम में है और ये 240 साल पुरानी बिल्डिंग है। और इस मंदिर के ऊपर इस मंदिर का नाम भी लिखा हुआ है, जान की देवी। आप अंदर जाएंगी तो सीधे हाथ पे एक संगमरमर का पत्थर रखा हुआ है, उस पे ये यहाँ पे अपना भगवान रखते थे। ये जगह जो 240 साल पुरानी है, इसको जगह को देने वाले भी मेरे ख़ानदान के राजा शाह वलीउल्लाह कियानी थे, जिन्होंने ये जगह हिंदुओं को और सिखों को गिफ्ट के तौर पे दी थी ताकि ये वो लोग अक़लीती लोग यहाँ पे इबादत कर सकें। और इसके साथ ये भी बता दूँ कि ये इस्लामाबाद का सबसे खूबसूरत तरीन और सबसे कदीम ये गांव है।
A little further away is this piece of history, which is an ancient 700-year-old village called Shah, the first settlement of the Aryans from Central Asia, ancient caravans passing through, massive armies of Tamerlane and Alexander. It was used as a route from Kabul to the Gandharan city of Taxila by Alexander and Shah Suri, and also by the Mughal rulers. and emperors as they traveled from Afghanistan to the Hindustan. This village has the relics of the Buddhist era that date back to the 8th century, and the Shah caves that are located on the route leading towards Khanpur. And when you stand in front of these caves, there is definitely a lot of history that oozes out of there. But it is also something that makes you feel a mix of all kinds of feelings. Intimidation, peace, awe. You also feel very small sometimes and also a little bit scared. People here cherish this history and are trying their best to preserve the history of this place by building beautiful resorts, activities, games, nature-friendly hikes, to attract tourists. Now, when you talk about the development of the city, it is at par with the heritage here, with some of the most skilled people who share their love for arts and culture with the world and promote the local artists on a regular basis. A region that is known for its expensive shops and lavish lifestyle provides opportunities to thousands of people who come here to find work. Behbood is the perfect example of an initiative that provides job opportunities to women in Pakistan who do anything from embroidery, stitching, pattern making, designing, photography, and anything under the sun. The products by Behbood travel the world through its customers that come to the different exhibition sites and shops that Behbood owns, organizes and participates in. The celebration of these stories of courage, innovation, cultural growth and transformation is only getting started. The city fights with all of its misconceptions every day without anyone knowing it, hidden underneath the perfect facade that we see on social media. This does not end here. The city that is made out to be one of the most beautiful capitals in the world is all that, but way more than that. Yes, this is Islamabad, and so is this, and this, and this. It's glamorized by many only by hiding or ignoring the 50% of the rural population, with people striving to make their lives better every day. And to balance that out, there are also those who make sure that there are enough opportunities for everybody to find work. Some were born and raised here, and some are just traveling through, but are as much invested in the growth of the city and this country as any of the natives here, and are just as inspiring.
I love Islamabad. From growing up in Dubai and coming here as a visitor to now living here, बहुत बड़ी difference आती है Islamabad के अंदर, जैसे आप like the way you feel it, the way that you interact with the city. But one of the most like incredible things is the nature. Like it's just such a beautiful city. Whenever you go and visit anywhere else in Pakistan, it's I think also one of the most well-structured cities. तो रहना यहाँ पे बहुत आसान हो जाता है. Especially moving from a well-structured city like Dubai, coming to Pakistan, it's very difficult to kind of blend into society, blend into the way that work happens and the way kind of city life happens. So it's a very easy first step into Pakistan. To me, Islamabad is just a phase of your life that you need to be in to be able to really appreciate that. And I think it's the nature and the calmness of the place that is just inexplicable.
If you're ever thinking where the cold and subtle people of Islamabad are or what they're doing, well, they're extremely passionate about what they do. And there are a lot of people who share their love for arts and culture with the world through their beautiful initiatives. Let's take the example of this place. It's a piece of art in itself, a residence called 8B2. Salman reflects a similar spirit through music, through one of the most soulful musical instruments called rabab.
वेल आर्टिस्ट तो वैसे भी लेट उठते हैं लेकिन जब मैं उठता हूँ तो यही सोच मेरी होती है कि कुछ नया करूँ, कुछ नया कंपोज कर लूँ, कुछ नया सीखने को मिल जाए, क्योंकि वाइल यू टीच तो आपको खुद भी सीखने को काफ़ी चीज़ें मिल जाती। तो एक इंस्पिरेशन रखनी होती है आपको कि मुझे कुछ नया करना है। अगर मैं नहीं उठा तो सारी दुनिया आगे निकल जाएगी।
The idea of doing something cool, getting up and doing something new every single day is to me very exciting. You know, like अगर आप वही चीज़ बार-बार करते रहते हो, like I have this personality which I get bored very easily. So unless and until there's like something new happening, it's very difficult for me.
I think my staff, my home-based workers, I really look forward to coming and working with them because, they're so good and it gives me so much satisfaction. I get up and I drive here and it makes me very happy. And by the end of the day, I've achieved a lot and I see these women, I feel, I've contributed so much towards their lives.
Daily, I don't think people sit and think, oh God, today what am I being driven by? But if your environment does impact who you are. So if you have an environment where you can put on your shoes and go for a walk, it's like round the corner, or you can step out of your gate and walk around the block. You can do that in Islamabad, even though there's a lot of traffic right now. But the CDA has really worked on the parks of the city and has given access to all kinds of people to come to the park. So what drives me is the fact that I can just happily go for a walk in one of these parks. No longer on the roads really, but in one of the parks. So that's really nice.
Life here is exciting, full of opportunities, and to top that, it has amazing natural beauty to delve in from time to time. It depends on how far your eyes are willing to see or how deep you're willing to see. Balancing all this natural beauty is the fast city life that keeps everyone on their toes. It is home to some of the most creative people and empowering initiatives that a lot of people don't know about. Home to experts who are seasoned in subjects like journalism and provide value to the news and lifestyle sector every day. People and brands here respect the heritage that they have inherited and provide a beautiful mix of contemporary to that by adding a little touch of the modern world and are super conscious about it. This is the Zero Waste Department of Behbood, where they make sure that every bit of the leftover fabric and hard work by these women is converted into creatively designed products. It's a newly created modern city, but in its heart, it has a lot of history, opportunities, beautiful people, and initiatives from all around the world.